character and world and have other artists play in the sandbox, I guess, and see what they came up with.
There are stars, and then there are rare souls who seem carved from a gentler world. Keanu Reeves stands among them, a living reminder that decency and depth can exist inside the glare of fame. He is not only Neo who bent reality in the Matrix, not only John Wick who turned vengeance into poetry. He is the steady heartbeat of modern cinema, a man whose humility glows brighter than any spotlight. While Hollywood often celebrates ego, Keanu represents its antidote, a kind spirit whose quiet strength has earned him the love of millions. At 61, his legend is not just in his films, but in the grace with which he moves through life, a symbol of endurance, generosity, and hope. Early years of a restless boy. Keanu Charles Reeves was born on September 2, 1964, in Beirut, Lebanon, a child of many cultures and shifting horizons. His name, Hawaiian for cool breeze over the mountains, would one day feel prophetic. When his parents separated, his father disappeared from his life, leaving questions that shaped the boy he became. His mother, Patricia Taylor, a gifted costume designer, moved the family across continents, from Beirut to Sydney, New York, and finally Toronto, chasing work and stability through a series of remarriages. Amid the constant motion, young Keanu learned that love could be fragile and that home might be something you carry within rather than a place you stay. Through the upheaval, he clung to one bond that never wavered, his sister Kim, whose laughter became the one melody that survived every move. A classroom outsider school never offered refuge. Dyslexia turned reading into a slow climb, and the quick-fire rhythm of classrooms rarely matched the way his mind worked. He changed schools again and again, sometimes misunderstood as rebellious when he was only curious. Yet even then, teachers noticed the imagination that flickered behind his questions. Sports became his escape, and on the ice rink he earned the nickname The Wall for his fearlessness as a goalkeeper. Hockey gave him belonging, a dream of the Olympics, and a glimpse of identity that wasn't constantly uprooted. When an injury ended that dream, the loss might have broken him, but instead it redirected him toward storytelling, toward a stage where resilience could find a new home. Finding purpose on stage, leaving school before graduation, Keanu stumbled into acting almost by instinct. Small television parts, commercials, and local plays became his classroom. Each line he memorized was a triumph over the letters that once taunted him. Driving a second-hand Volvo from Toronto to Los Angeles, he arrived in Hollywood with little more than determination. The city was indifferent, but he kept knocking on doors until someone opened. His first films, River's Edge and Permanent Record, revealed a rare authenticity, a quiet gravity that audiences felt even when scripts were thin. He wasn't performing sorrow. He understood it. Those early roles proved that his strength lay not in loudness, but in honesty. Stardom and the price of labels. Then came 1989's Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, the unexpected hit that made him a pop culture icon overnight. The goofy charm of Ted Theodore Logan won hearts but trapped him in a label Hollywood would take years to forget. Producers saw the slacker. Few saw the artist beneath. Keanu met every stereotype with patience, using humor to disarm those who underestimated him. When critics doubted his depth, he quietly sought roles that demanded it. Point Break and Speed transformed that perception. Suddenly, the once typecast dreamer was a full-fledged action star, blending physical courage with emotional sincerity. Yet even as fame soared, he remained grounded, still traveling by motorcycle, still sitting on park benches like any other passerby. The bond of a brother. Through every storm, his sister Kim remained his heart's anchor. When she battled illness, Keanu rearranged entire schedules to sit by her bedside, reading, joking, keeping her company through long nights. He bought a home nearby so she would never feel alone. Out of that devotion grew an anonymous foundation supporting children's hospitals and cancer research, work he seldom discusses because gratitude, he believes, should speak in deeds, not headlines. For him, compassion is not performance. It is remembrance, a promise kept to the people who once held him together. The legacy of friendship. Among the friendships that shaped him, none was more transformative than his bond with the late River Phoenix. They met as kindred spirits on my own private Idaho, two young men navigating fame and fragility. When River's life ended too soon, Keanu carried that absence like an invisible scar. He never turned the pain into publicity. He honored it through presence, by living modestly, by treating every collaboration as sacred, by reminding himself daily that time is precious. River's memory lingers in the thoughtful pauses between Keanu's words, in the humility that defines his every choice. The warrior reborn years later, John Wick reignited his career and revealed a new mythology. The seasoned fighter forged by loss. Keanu trained relentlessly, performing most stunts himself, insisting on realism even as his body protested. The franchise's success was no miracle. It was the harvest of decades of persistence. Fans saw bullets and ballet. What they felt was authenticity. Each movement carried the weight of a man who understood grief and discipline. In an industry obsessed with reinvention, Keanu didn't reinvent himself. He refined himself. John Wick wasn't a comeback. It was a confession of everything he had survived. The human behind the myth. Despite wealth that could build palaces, his daily life remains strikingly simple. He rides public transportation, chats easily with strangers, and offers kindness without ceremony. He has been known to give away significant portions of his earnings to crews, to share profits with those who make films possible. When fans encounter him, they rarely meet a guarded celebrity. They meet a man who makes time to listen. That humility is not a pose. It is protection against the emptiness fame can breed. He understands that real connection happens quietly, away from flashbulbs. The art of healing. His home in the Hollywood Hills mirrors that quiet soul. Glass walls open toward sunlight and gardens. Koi glide through still ponds, and silence replaces applause. It is less a mansion than a retreat. A space for reading, for reflection, for the slow repair of a body tested by decades of physical roles. Here he shares life with artist Alexandra Grant, whose presence brings balance rather than spectacle. Their partnership, grounded in creativity and respect, embodies the peace he once thought unreachable. Together they paint, write, cook, and let the world spin without chasing it. The artist at 61 today. Keanu works selectively, choosing projects that stir curiosity rather than feed the machine. He has revived his band Dog Star, releasing music that hums with nostalgia and sincerity. He explores poetry, graphic novels, and the gentle humor of new film collaborations. A knee injury during a recent shoot reminded him that even resilience must yield to time. Yet he faces recovery with the same patience that has guided every chapter of his life. His fitness routines now favor care over conquest. Swimming, stretching, long walks at dusk. He treats age not as decline, but as refinement, proof that endurance can mature into grace. The philosopher of kindness. Keanu Reeves's philosophy is lived, not preached. He rarely gives grand speeches. Instead, he models small mercies that ripple outward. He greets every crew member by name, waits his turn in lines, and never mistakes courtesy for weakness. Asked once what love means, he paused and answered simply, "Someone to share time with." That humility disarms cynicism. In him, the public recognizes something astonishingly rare. A celebrity who reflects humanity back at us without distortion. He shows that kindness need not be complicated, that strength and gentleness can exist in the same frame. Legacy of light fame will one day dim. Franchises will fade. But the measure of Keanu Reeves will remain in the lives he has quietly brightened. The colleagues whose careers he uplifted, the families helped by his unseen donations, the countless fans who found comfort in his calm presence. He has turned sorrow into empathy and endurance into art. His story is not the myth of an untouchable hero, but the truth of a man who chose compassion over cynicism again and again. In him we recognize our own fragile hope that goodness can survive fame, that pain can evolve into purpose, that even after the darkest night, light returns. An invitation to reflect. As he enters the next chapter of his life, the world continues to watch with admiration not for what he will do, but for who he already is. Whether he steps once more into John Wick's suit or retreats further into the quiet rhythms of art and reflection, the choice will be his, and whatever he chooses will be met with gratitude. For audiences across generations, Keanu Reeves is more than an actor. He is proof that resilience and kindness can coexist, that humility can outlast glamour, and that a single human being can inspire millions simply by being good. If his journey has touched your heart, share your own reflection. What has his story reminded you of? Whose kindness has changed your life? Because in honoring him, we are really honoring the part of ourselves that still believes compassion matters most.